Hello, welcome to Bite Size. I'm your host, David Byrne. Thank you for joining me today as we talk about health insurance in the US and specifically how we can address out of network insurance costs. In order to have this discussion, we need to establish a few key terms. Out of network. This means that a doctor or hospital or some type of medical facility has not agreed on a price for a specific service with your insurance plan. In network means they've agreed, hey, this service is going to be priced and charged at this amount. And then there's direct billing. That means when you go get a service, you're going to say, here's my debit card, I'm paying for this myself, or cash, or however you're going to pay for it, you're paying for it yourself. No middleman that anyone has to deal with. Something I'd like to start this conversation out with is I've gone ahead and pulled some data on the percentage of hospitals, or I should say the percentage of hospitals where the direct billed rate is less than the median commercial rate for a specific service. As you can see, and where I put a red square around, most of the time, above 50% of the time, the cash price, the direct bill price, is lower than the median commercial price. This is because they've cut out the middleman, so it's going to be cheaper to process your payment and your services. They need less staff in order to deal with it. So how do we make sure that you can actually use your insurance, not having to worry about out of network charges? As you can see, the problem that I'm trying to address is the fact that you're left with these hefty bills, 50% co-insurance, as you can see on the left, 50% after deductible that is, 3 times the amount of size or the amount as your in-network deductible. It's ridiculous. So, as you can see, I put the key point about directly billed care right over there in the top right-hand corner. So what can we do to address out-of-network insurance costs in the US so that you don't have to worry about the cost of care when you go to a doctor, or that you can keep your doctor that you actually like when you switch jobs? Something Obamacare said they were going to do, but it really didn't happen. It only takes 2 steps. We should require all insurance to disclose their highest negotiated rate for a specific service. So let's go back to the previous slide. You can see these are the services, and they have codes. In the left-hand side, you see service, injections of drugs into lower or sacral spine nerve root using imaging guidance. It has a code that is associated with that 64483. I want to require the insurance company to disclose, here's our highest negotiated rate for that service. And what I want to do is, if you go to the hospital and you pay for that service yourself, you say, hey, you're an out-of-network hospital, I'm going to just pay for this myself, whether on a credit card or debit card. When you go back to your insurance and you file that claim with them for reimbursement because you paid for it, so you're saying, hey, here's my receipt, this was for medical care, they have to trade. If it's a covered service, if that treatment would have been covered in network, if you were directly billed, they have to reimburse you at in-network rates up to their highest negotiated rate for their service. So let's give an example. So the highest negotiated rate for a service is $1,000. And the cash price was $800, and you paid $800, but it was an out-of-network hospital. So what I'm proposing is, because you paid cash and you're submitting for reimbursement, and their highest negotiated rate for that service was $1,000, they have to reimburse you at the in-network rates. In the case of the left-hand picture, they're going to have to reimburse you, and your co-insurance is only going to be 20% instead of 50% if it was an out-of-network charge. I hope this makes sense. I hope you see how this really takes the onus off of you worrying about out-of-network coverages and really adds some transparency. I believe that these out-of-network inordinate percentages and co-insurances should only apply above their highest negotiated rate of service. So I'm not trying to be unreasonable. What I'm trying to do is make sure you, no matter what, you can keep the doctor you want. And you really have to only worry about your in-network rates. Thank you very much. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Bite Size, where we discussed real ways that you can actually keep your insurance, or keep your doctor, I should say, and not have to worry about your insurance. Thank you very much, everyone. Take care.